about to be 40 years old this week, and when I reflect on the past 4 decades, half of them in the beauty industry, I really think about the stuff I learned in skincare specifically. So today, I'm gonna share my top skincare rules to live by. If you're new to my channel, my name is Yara. I have been in the beauty industry for 2 decades. I started off as a beauty editor. I now have my own skincare line, and I love to talk about skincare and beauty specifically on this channel. So if that sounds good to you, give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel. All right, so 40 years old. I feel like I have learned a lot, not just about skincare and skincare rules, but even just seeing the ins and outs of the skincare industry and the beauty industry as a whole. There are so many things that happen behind the scenes, so many more people that are involved that you just don't even consider. There are so many things to learn about marketing, and when it comes to speaking with dermatologists and cosmetic chemists and just anybody who is involved in the skincare industry and in the beauty industry as a whole, you really do learn a lot. But I think the main takeaway, the biggest takeaway that I have really learned while being in the beauty industry is that skincare and beauty is very personal. Very personal. I say this all the time. You should find several people that you enjoy when it comes to skincare, and you should take all of their advice and all of their product reviews with a little bit of a grain of salt and apply it to yourself if it pertains. Because when it comes to product reviews specifically, what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. It's always the way it goes. This is one of the reasons why I never really give negative reviews of products. When I find a product doesn't work for me, it might end up working for somebody else on my team. So I tend to just put it aside and I just won't talk about it. And the reason for that is because it might not work for me, but I don't want it to keep you from trying it and it being a product that you might absolutely love. So really keep in mind, your skincare is personal. Even if a product or an ingredient used to work really well for you, it can also change. You might eventually have reactions to it, or it might not do anything for you because your skin changes as you age. So always keep that in mind. Your skin is constantly changing. Everything is very personal. What pertains to you really never pertains to anybody else. My second rule, and this one should not be a surprise if you've been following me for a while, and that is no makeup wipes ever. Ever. Like ever. No, okay, fine. I'll take it back a little bit. Obviously, if it's like an occasional thing or you're using it for very specific reasons, or, you know, some people have their reasons why they use makeup wipes, but for the most part, I feel like while I have been in the beauty industry, every time I speak to somebody that has some type of a skin issue, whenever I ask what they're using to cleanse their skin, and trust me, it has gotten so much better as double cleansing has really become a thing, but over the last few years, what I have seen as the common denominator when it comes to people who are having issues with their skin, they don't do a proper cleanse. Instead, they use makeup wipes. They're using makeup wipes as their only cleanse. They're constantly rubbing on their skin. They're constantly tugging on their skin. They even tell me that they feel a tingle or a burn after they use makeup wipes, and then they continue using makeup wipes. A cleanse, a proper cleanse, sets the tone for your skincare routine. So if you're not properly cleansing your skin, then I don't even know why you're bothering with your skincare products. The next rule, and this is one that I'm so glad has become probably the most important rule in the skincare industry, and that is to wear your sunscreen religiously. Even just a decade ago, the sunscreen conversation was not as strong of a conversation. It was only dermatologists that I felt like were really pushing this conversation. Other than that, it really wasn't the focus. You would always see skincare routines where people were like, just kind of like, whatever, maybe I use a sunscreen, maybe I don't, or it's in my makeup. That was always a conversation. It's crazy to think about it now because that feels like such a foreign concept to me, but wearing your sunscreen is the most important step in your morning skincare routine. And not just wearing your sunscreen, but reapplying your sunscreen. That's something that I personally have had to get really used to, especially if I'm staying inside. I'm not as hardcore about it. I won't beat myself up about it if I don't reapply while I'm basically inside all day, as long as I put it on first thing in the morning when I'm getting my day started, and I'm not just sitting right in front of the window or right in front of a door where the sun is glaring on my face, then I'm not so hard on myself. But if I know I'm gonna expose my skin to the sun, I definitely make sure that I wear my sunscreen and I reapply it. The next rule, again, is not even a surprise, and that is that retinoids are the gold standard when it comes to your active ingredients. You know, I think at this point, everyone's using at least a retinol that watches my channel. I've been, you know, like raving about retinol for years at this point. That's really where I go when it comes to my retinoids. I like an over-the-counter retinoid because it's more gentle on my skin. Every time I try prescription tretinoin, it's always a little bit harsh on my skin. I've gotten it to a point where I can use a pretty low percentage once or twice a week, but even at that, I just like barely add maybe like one more day that week or something, and my skin immediately gets sensitive. And again, that's because skincare is so personal. You know, just because it is the gold standard ingredient doesn't mean that you can tolerate an ingredient the way that other people can tolerate it. There are people on my team who can use tretinoin every night and their skin is totally fine, but I'm just not that person. That said, we know you get the most benefits from your retinoids, whether that's prescription or over the counter. So find a way to get retinoids into your skincare routine. You can start really gentle and then work your way up. You can start with a prescription tretinoin right away and just go really slowly with it. It doesn't really matter how you get there, but get there. Get a retinoid into your skincare routine if you truly want to see a difference when it comes to your skin. But I guess that does lead into my next skincare rule. Not every skincare ingredient or product is made for you. That's just the way it goes. You know, whenever I see people kind of, you know, like tear one brand down because whatever type of products that they have, or they found that like 3 products didn't work for them or something, and they're just gonna like shut the brand down or something. To me, that's like the worst way to review a brand, because not every product from that brand was made for every one person. Every brand, my brand included, we all make products that aren't necessarily made for like the founder of the brand. We make products that address very specific skin issues, skin problems, you know, like give people, you know, the things that they're looking for when it comes to skincare. I have normal to dry skin. I deal with hyperpigmentation and melasma. So the ingredients and products that I'm looking for are the ones that are pretty much geared towards that. I'm not looking for oil-free products. I'm not looking for light moisturizers. I'm not looking for, you know, like anything that's gonna treat acne and stuff. These are not the types of products that I look for. So if I try products that are geared towards those issues, then they're probably not gonna work for me. I'm probably gonna give it a bad review because it's not made for me. And the same goes for every other brand and every other product. If that product or if those ingredients are not made for you, then they're not going to be great for you. This kind of even goes for like makeup and hair products and stuff. I'll talk about something like a mascara and I'll say, you know, like this is a lengthening mascara. It's not a thickening mascara. It's not meant to give you volume. And I'll say how much I love it because I'm looking for a lengthening mascara. And then I'll see all these people say that they hated this one because it didn't give them volume. The mascara says it's a lengthening mascara. It specifically wasn't supposed to give you volume, but people don't really pay attention to that. So I think it's something that we should really take note of. Sometimes products are not made for you, and of course you're gonna give it a bad review if it wasn't made for you. The same goes for specific ingredients. Just because an ingredient is hyped up and most people say that they love it, like for instance vitamin C or even tretinoin, these are amazing ingredients in skincare. But every once in a while, somebody will message me and they'll say, I've tried so many vitamin C serums, they always irritate my skin. Or I've tried niacinamide and everyone seems to love it, but it always makes my skin irritated, or it gives me this redness to my skin. That means that ingredient might not be for you, and you really shouldn't try to force an ingredient to work for you just because you see so many people talking about it and raving about it. A hyped up ingredient doesn't mean that it's for you. My next rule is that we need our ecosystem of skincare experts. And when I say this, I mean that we don't just need cosmetic chemists, we also need dermatologists. We also need the marketing people. We also need the skincare influencers and the beauty editors. All of these people who are considered experts in the skincare industry and also just in the beauty industry in general. We all make up this ecosystem that feeds off of each other, and we need each other, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. Some people are right, some people are wrong. Sometimes there are varying opinions when it comes to skincare and ingredients and the way products should be used. And at the end of the day, sometimes people really aren't wrong or right. There is just so much nuance to skincare specifically. And we talk about this all the time. It's always funny to me that, we have these conversations all the time here on the channel. I see these conversations happening among everybody in the skincare industry as a whole, especially online. And yet you'll still get people who are like, well, so-and-so said X, Y, and Z, so they must be right. Or, I heard that chemical sunscreens give me cancer, so that one person must be right. Or there was one study where one person got this one issue from an ingredient, so it must give you cancer. It becomes really interesting to see that there are so many people who are like, just really definitive about what must be right, but when you really put it all together, it's not really about right and wrong. There's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of context that you have to take into account when you are discussing skincare. And again, skincare is super personal. So what works for one person might not work for another, and it can become very anecdotal too. What I have found about cosmetic chemists is that they really understand the ingredients and how they work together. They obviously are the magicians when it comes to formulating the products that we all get to love and enjoy. That doesn't mean that they work with people and their skin specifically on a daily basis. Most of them don't. Some of them don't even use the products that they're making or the types of products that they're making. So in some ways, it's like really interesting that they make these products, but they don't actually understand how they're supposed to be used. And that's where it's really important to get a consumer point of view. It's really important to have the marketing people behind a brand, because those are the people that will work collaboratively with the cosmetic formulators to create a product that really is something that people will enjoy and will look for. So really, when you think about cosmetic chemists, they are amazing when it comes to formulation, but that doesn't mean that they're getting the anecdotal day-to-day information that, say, a dermatologist or an esthetician would get from working with their patients and their clients. That said, we also need the dermatologists. Dermatologists work with skin every single day. They know skin disease and issues. They can diagnose, they can give you medication. This is really important. Your skin health is a whole different topic, and dermatologists are the people that you need to really go to when it comes to your skin health. That said, dermatologists don't always know skincare ingredients. I've said this before, people got really pissed about this in the video where I said that, but it's the truth. And if you don't want to believe that, then I'm sorry, but it is. Not all dermatologists study skincare ingredients. It's not what they're supposed to do. That doesn't mean that you won't find a dermatologist who does love skincare products and skincare ingredients. There are plenty of them out there, and I see these people all the time on the internet. They really understand that they need to also know about the skincare ingredients and the products that their patients are using to get a full picture. Those are some amazing dermatologists. As far as the beauty editors and the content creators and influencers and the marketing people, I feel like a lot of the time lately, we are the people who get like demonized here in the skincare industry, but I don't know how anybody would sell any products, first off. I don't know how you would learn about any new products or products that might be of interest to you. You wouldn't learn about like the textures or the usage of products, or even just have a breakdown, a really simplified breakdown of why you need these types of products and ingredients in your life in general, without the people that simplify it, that really take all of this information from this ecosystem and break it down for you. And that's what we do. We take all of the information, we package it up, and we tie a nice little bow on it, and we hand it to you, just like that. We're like, here you go, this is what you need to know. So all of that to say, you need several points of view. You will learn more, you'll understand more, the more that you open up your world to all the different people and opinions when it comes to skincare. And then one of the biggest rules for me is to find your people. So, I was saying that you need this ecosystem of people, but this is not just for their opinions and to watch and get information. I mean, you need to find your people when it comes to actual treatments. If you really want to get a handle of your skincare and you really want to just get the best skin, you have to find your people. You can't just land on one dermatologist, have a bad experience, and then be like, I don't really trust dermatologists anymore. You have to try out a few dermatologists until you find the one. The same thing goes with your esthetician. People ask me all the time, how do you find a great esthetician? It's really hard to find one because, again, it's so personal to what it is that you're trying to achieve. So you have to try out a few different estheticians until you might find the one. Sometimes people get lucky, just like when they're dating. You might find the one on your first shot, and lucky you, but that doesn't always happen, and chances are that's not going to happen. So try out different people, learn from different people, and make sure that you have the right people working on your skin. Another important rule is to not be ashamed for wanting to get better skin or to treat your skin. So don't be ashamed of these things. I know that, like so many people don't want to talk about the stuff that they get done, but so many people get these treatments done. I see so many people, my mom is one of these people, who sometimes feel so bad about wanting to take better care of her skin and her looks and stuff, and there's just nothing to be ashamed of. It's, maybe it is selfish, but we should all be allowed to be a little selfish in our lives. Something I have really learned as a mom, especially as a mom, is that when you take care of yourself, you're able to take better care of everybody else around you. That's just a fact. You have to take care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, you feel better, you have more confidence, you have higher self-esteem, and that will only take you further in life and in the way that you feel. And then my final, probably my most important rule when it comes to skincare is to be happy. Be happy. Try not to stress out about things that aren't important in your life. Try to be as optimistic as possible, because this is all the stuff that will eventually show on your skin. It really does. Whatever happens inside, all the things that you're feeling, it shows. It shows just in the way you look in general. If you are stressed out, if you're constantly upset, if you are constantly looking at things the wrong way, it can really, really affect you. We've heard dermatologists talk about how stress can really affect even the way that your skin is reacting. This is all really true. And I've heard people say, whenever they hear me say, I think about things very optimistically, they're like, oh, this is toxic positivity and stuff. I'm not trying to push positivity on you. If you are going through some shit, you're going through some shit, but you can't always look at your life negatively. It catches up to you, it really does. I always try to look at the positive side of things. I have been through my own shit before in my life. You guys have seen me go through shit, even here online, and I still try to look at it positively. What do I learn from this? How do I, make something better from this situation? And that mentality has truly changed me. It has made me a better person. It has gotten me to where I am. And I also credit it to the reason why I have learned so much about my skin, and my skin has gotten better. I feel like I look better at 40 than I did when I was 20. I obviously had really great skin at 20, but I was torturing my skin and doing things to myself, like staying out late, drinking, partying, doing all of that kind of stuff, sun tanning, not wearing my sunscreen. I was treating it so badly. I was treating myself badly, and I didn't even realize it. And now I really have a good handle of it. And you know what? I'm really happy. I'm really happy with what I've got. So those are my skincare rules to live by. I am sure if you've been following my mixed makeup journey for the past 7 years, I have had mixed makeup for 7 years here on YouTube. If you've been following me, you know none of this is really a surprise to you. I've talked about a lot of these things. You've seen me evolve and grow into who I am now. You've seen all the different treatments and stuff that I've tried. You've just been with me. You've seen the evolution, and I really appreciate you for that. I love you so much. I wouldn't have any of this without all of you. So for my 40th birthday, I want to thank you for following me, for supporting me, and for really just giving me this platform, and for sharing in this love that we have for skincare and for beauty. So anyway, happy birthday to me. I am 40 years old. That's all you guys are gonna keep hearing is me saying, I'm 40, I'm owning it, and I love it. If you want, you can ask me questions in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram @SusanYara, and I'll talk to you guys soon.